Hey YouTube, it's Tom here. In this video, I actually want to share my experience with all of you regarding my post-concussion syndrome. And that's something I've been dealing with for the past little while. It has not been fun. In fact, I would say that this has been the most challenging and the most difficult thing that I've ever had to deal with when it comes to health. Now, physically, when you look at me, you won't know, right? You'll be like, what do you mean? You look normal. But here's a picture of what a person who's concussed might look like. Now, backtrack, this all started in February of this year. And what happened was I was snowboarding in Whistler and I suffered, honestly, it was a very, very small fall. It wasn't a hard fall by any means. I was on a flat surface, I caught an edge, I fell backwards, and I had a whiplash effect on my neck area as well as my shoulders. I got up, whatever, I kept on snowboarding. In fact, that evening, I drove home from Whistler to Vancouver. I went out for dinner. I was a little bit daisy, a little bit off, but at the same time, I was feeling fine. My neck and my shoulders were extremely sore, but I said, hey, whatever, it's a physical injury and it's gonna go away. 2 days later, I ended up in the ER because the left side of my body felt super tingly, super cold, sweaty, tingly on my fingers and feet, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm okay. The doctor said, you might have had a concussion from the whiplash, go home and rest. So that's what I did. I went home, didn't really do the best job when it comes to resting, but after a week of resting, I felt fine. And from March until July, I was feeling pretty much okay. I was feeling maybe 95%. I was a little bit dizzy here and there. It wasn't a huge deal. And I thought maybe it was from my diet. And during that time, I had a lot of stress coming on, such as my engagement, my proposal with my fiance, bought a house, which was actually quite stressful. I had a lot of work-related stress. But I've always been the type of person that thrived under stress because that's what makes me perform better. It really gives me kind of a rush, the adrenaline, and it makes me really productive. At this point, my body decided to give up. My body said, hey, we're still trying to recover from that fall that you had in February, and because you're adding so much stress into your life, that's it. So what happened? Well, one day I woke up, my left eye stopped focusing. You guys know when you take a camera and you're trying to focus on something, that's pretty much what my left eye was doing. And that was super scary because I didn't know if it was an eye issue or a brain issue or whatever issue it might be. I never had to deal with it. I looked up a bunch of symptoms online. Never trust Dr. Google because then you have this, you have that, and next thing you know, you're dead. So I started going to my family doctor. He did full-on blood test on me, blood pressure, all that type of stuff, nothing. I got an MRI done earlier this year in April at Pronuvo, nothing. And I started getting a little bit desperate because he said it might go away, but every single time I look out my window and I try to fixate on one specific object, it wouldn't focus, which is really annoying. And the worst part is when you're driving, it didn't feel like I was actually driving. It felt like my body was driving, but my mind was somewhere else. I was not there totally present. And that was really, really scary as well. Didn't think up too much of it. I said, hey, maybe this will go away. I went to go see an optometrist who then referred me to an ophthalmologist who said, hey, your left eye has a retina tear. So that's when the back of your eye, whatever, there's a little tear and you have to actually get that lasered up. So I said, okay. So I got my eye lasered. And then things actually got a little bit better, to be honest. In fact, in September, I actually decided to go to Napa. I was feeling fine enough to actually go to Napa. And when I was in Napa, I decided to go to LA after because I was probably 80% better, but I was definitely not 100%. And I wanted to get to 100%. So I went to LA to go see this audiologist who Mark Cuban actually went to because he had similar symptoms. And I went there. They strapped me to this chair and started spinning me and did a bunch of tests and quizzes and eye things and balance things and so on and so forth. And basically the result was that I had a vestibular issue. A vestibular issue is basically just your body trying to balance. My balance was completely off. I said, okay, well, what do you recommend doing? She said vision therapy, because right now your left eye is not working. So basically you're gonna be doing a lot of exercises like the thumb pursuit. There's like stuff you put on the wall, you cover one eye, you read, blah, 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 follow the ball. So basically training your eyes to work properly again. I said, okay, that seems fair enough. So I came back to Vancouver and I found a vision therapist for me to work with. And to be honest, when I got back to Vancouver, things really started going downhill from there. And that's in September now. So when September came, I came back to Vancouver. In fact, actually, let me backtrack one thing. I was supposed to go to Austin and then come back to Vancouver. And the day before, I haven't booked my plane ticket yet, I was in my hotel room, kind of crouched up, you know, just like laying in bed, but you're not like laying flat. I was on my phone for literally 3 to 4 hours at night. And I remember the next day that I got up, my body literally felt like it was divided in half. My left leg and my right leg felt like they were different. Obviously they're different legs, but they felt different. When you walk, you don't think so much about like, oh, my left leg and my right leg feel different. It feels the same, right? You're just walking. But this time it felt different. So did my upper body. So did my eye. The left side of my face felt different. And we had to do a documentary that day. So I didn't want to go, but I had to go. So I filmed the documentary all day. I was exhausted after. And I remember when I was filming the documentary, I was looking at the director and I couldn't tell how far away he was from me. He was sitting maybe 5 feet in front of me, and then there's the background behind him. But there was no sense of where he is in space. It's like it's really weird. It's hard for me to explain, but it just felt off again with my left eye. So I went back to Vancouver. I started doing vision therapy. And as I was doing more vision therapy, I started feeling really tired. Low mood, low energy, fatigue. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. And then anxiety kicked in. So really, really anxious. My body's on fight or flight the whole time. Sweaty palms and just random like panic attacks. I'm not sure if any of you guys had anxiety attacks or panic attacks. Those are not fun. Those will come in waves, and my eye was progressively getting worse and worse as well. So now I started looking for answers because my family doctor couldn't give me any answers. He said, go take these meds. There's no way that this is from the fall that you had in February. I said, okay, I believed him. And then I started reaching out to my friends who had concussions in the past. They recommended me to go to physio. They recommended me to do RMT and this and that. A lot of physical work, which I have not done because I'm like, my body doesn't really hurt that much. It's just my eye that's not working. However, when I went to the physio, they said that the back of my neck, this area that fell, is so tight. Even if they just press it like this, the back of my neck is all tensed up and it's super tender. And they started working on my neck and the eye issue actually went away. It didn't go away completely, but now I can actually focus better. But I would say it's about 70% there. So that's very promising. However, the rest of the symptoms were still there. So I'm talking about anxiety, fatigue, not almost, but I would say depression. Because there were days where I'm like, what is going on? I can't find any answers. Why am I feeling like this? Your body feels weird. Anxiety attacks comes in and you're just in bed and you're like, you don't want to get out of bed. And I'm like, do I need to call 911 right now? Because I feel like I'm about to pass out. So it's really, really scary. For those that did have anxiety attacks and panic attacks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I kept on looking for answers because I really haven't found anybody who can tell me why my eye is not working. It is better than before, but even when I drive and so on and so forth, it doesn't feel the same as before. Finally, I was able to find a doctor here in Vancouver. His name is Dr. Ash. I'll probably post his link down below. He basically is a concussion specialist. It was like a 2-month waiting list, so I signed up with him back in September, and I finally got to see him last week. And through the assessment, it was very, very clear what was actually going on with me. There was one test that we did where I sat in front of a computer and it can detect my eyes. And then there's a dot that follows the screen left, right, up, down, sideways, whatever. And my eye have to focus on the dot. And whenever it goes this way, my left eye has trouble tracking that dot. Basically what had happened, during the fall, I injured my neck area, which in the back here, it also goes up to this part of the area called cerebellum that controls kind of your motor sense, part of your vision, your balance, and so on and so forth. And that part, the neck and this part is connected. So the neck gets damaged, this part gets a little bit damaged as well. From February until July, I didn't feel too much symptoms because my body was trying to heal itself. My body was trying to protect it, heal itself, and so on and so forth. But because of the work and the stress that I put under my body, one day, it just ran out of gas. It says, we can't do this anymore. You ran out of everything that your body requires to actually fix the issue. It just stopped working properly. Now, when the eye stops focusing on things, the eye tells the brain that you don't know where you are in space. And when the brain gets that signal from the eye, what does it do? It goes into protection mode. It goes into fight or flight mode. It goes into like, hey, we don't know where we are in space. That's not safe. So let's tighten up. So that's where the anxiety comes in. Basically, my NNS system is completely off. I can't relax, right? Before I had trouble relaxing anyway, but after this it's even worse. I'm always tense. I'm always ready to go. The brain is sending the rest of the body saying, hey, we're in the fight or flight mode. So we need to go into protection. So it's always just tense, and when you're tense, the muscles here gets more tense, and that way it injures this part of the neck even more. It causes a feedback loop. So basically, the vision therapy for me, at least, wasn't the actual root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem was not the eye. It was actually the neck. It was the back of the neck and the brain over here that was in charge of the eye and the balance system and so on and so forth. So I found Dr. Ash last week. I'm starting to do therapy just starting this week. And I think it's too early to tell. He said after 6-7 sessions, I should be able to see some results, and I really hope I do. But through this experience, there's been days where I ask myself, how long is this gonna be? I don't have the answer. What if this is something that could be life-threatening? What if this is X, Y, Z? I don't know what it is. And I like knowing what I'm going through, especially inside of my body. And when all the doctors, guys, I've seen over 10 different people, family doctor, osteopath, RMT, physio, you name it. I got blood tests done. I spent more money on MRIs. I got everything in the books done, and they can't find out the issue. And that's really, really scary. And no one really understands. I can't go to a restaurant. I can't go to the gym. I can't even work out. I can't even go running for that long. I can't do anything. I told my team that I'm taking some time off work. This whole experience really, really humbled me. And it just put me on my ass and said, Tom, business is not everything. Work is not everything. Money is not everything. You need to actually take care of your body, listen to your body, listen to your mind. It's been a journey. It's been an absolute eye-opening experience that I don't wish upon my worst enemy. Now, for those that maybe are following, that have post-concussion syndrome, send me a message, send me an email. I'm happy to help you out. I know how crazy this experience is because the doctors just aren't trained on it. The doctors will tell you to go home and rest, but that's the old way of doing things. And sometimes that works. Yeah, I'm shocked that some doctors don't know anything about post-concussion syndrome. A lot of hockey players, athletes, and so on and so forth, and a lot of people ended their career because they got multiple concussions and they didn't get it treated properly. So life is like a chair. There's 4 legs, and if one of the legs doesn't work, your body can hold it up. 2 doesn't work, your body can hold it up. 3 doesn't work, you can probably hold it up a little bit more. And for me, I've been focusing so much on work for the past 5 years that I neglected all my other legs, which is what? Health, which is spirituality, my relationships, and I've been focusing too much on work. So this was almost a reset for me. This is almost like God telling me that, Tom, this is not sustainable, so I'm gonna flick off the switch. And literally in July, someone flipped the switch off that caused my eye to stop working properly. So I'm still on my road to recovery. However, I do feel like after 2 sessions with Dr. Ash, I am feeling a little bit better. I still need to just basically relax. I can't stimulate my brain too much. I need my nervous system to calm down. I think this is gonna be a gradual work in progress. So I wanna do this video for 2 reasons. Number 1, share with you guys a little bit of the things I've been going through. And number 2, for anybody who did have a post-concussion syndrome, there is hope. You just need to find it from the specialist who actually specialize in concussions. Dr. Ash basically tested me for literally 2 hours before he did anything on me. Any other people, I went in, they asked me what happened. I said I had a concussion. They said, okay, lay down, I'm gonna fix you. Is that really a good assessment? I don't know. But I can tell you right now that I feel like he heard what I have to say. There was proper assessments that was done, and I'm really, really excited. I'm very hopeful to see what's going on within the next few months. can't wait to get back to 100%. I want to create more content. I want to share my stories. I want to engage with other people. And I just pray that I will get back to 100% sooner than later. So anyways, thank you all for watching this video. Just wanted to share with you guys what I'm up to. 2022 is going to be around the corner. Hopefully you guys make it a good year, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.